Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm so happy that I am recording this video today because I am celebrating 1 year as a BCBA. I honestly cannot believe it's been a year. It's honestly been the hardest year of my life. I cannot sugarcoat that. I can't use another word other than hard and very draining, honestly, in my opinion. But I've been choosing to look at my job very positively. So I am going to be saying that it has been very hard, but also I've had a good time. My clients have all made progress. I've grown in a lot of aspects in my life, which I can make a full video about, why my first year was really, really hard. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about 3 things I wish I knew before I became a BCBA. The first thing that we're going to be talking about the 3 things I wish I knew before I became a BCBA, is that basically you're going to be working not with your clients. Like, when I tell people what I do, when they ask me, like, what is a BCBA, I don't tell them I work with kids with autism, because essentially you don't. What you do is you manage their cases, and you're working with the client's family, you're working with the staff that they're with, you're working with any adult that is in the life of this client. Moreover, you're not really working with the client because you are supervising an RBT. So you're not really, as a BCBA, at least in my company, I have never billed 97153, which is the direct service code. I've never billed that. I only supervise, and I only do parent training, and obviously I do their assessments. So essentially, I didn't really know that. Like, I really thought that when I would see my BCBA when I was on RBT, I was like, okay, like, she works with kids because, we play games with the BCBA and the client present, and like, she models how to run things, etc. I do the same thing, but it's not like we're actually working with the client, like, one-on-one. So really, a BCBA is in charge of the client's case. They do parent training, so they provide the strategies on how to best help the child with autism, and they train school staff, they train RBTs. So I just wanted to make that clear. Like, that wasn't something that I really knew until I became a BCBA. If that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense to you. I can expand a little bit on that if you need me to, but really, we don't work with the client. You're working with his family or her family and any adult that's really in their life. So I did wish I knew about that a little bit more. I wish I would have done a little bit more shadowing when I was an RBT. So anybody that is looking to become a BCBA, I would really say to take advantage of shadowing and really understanding what a BCBA is, because you might think that you're going to be working with kids, but really, at least in my company, we really don't. Again, I make time to work with the client because I don't want to be on my computer the whole session, and I don't want to be updating the programs the whole entire time, but essentially, I don't work with the client one-on-one. For number 2 of the things I wish I knew before I became a BCBA is definitely that you need to be okay with confrontation. This point has taken me a long time to understand. Again, it's only been a year for me that I've been a BCBA, but this is something I still very much struggle with. I've never been good with confrontation. I do not like problems. I do not like somebody telling me things that I don't want to hear. I don't think anyone does, but some people, honestly, they love the drama. From what I've seen, they love the drama. I'm not one of those people. If I can be alone in my little happy bubble the entire time, that's what I want to be doing. But as a BCBA, you need to be okay with confrontation. You need to be okay with an RBT telling you, hey, this program, I don't like it. You need to be okay with an RBT telling you, this strategy isn't working. You need to be okay with parents telling you, this isn't working for my child. You need to be okay with school staff telling you, hey, he's been having all these behaviors, and it's like, it just seems ineffective. You need to be okay with people really coming up to you and telling you the things that they do not like. That's been very, very hard for me because I don't know, I'm not very sensitive. I'm not very, I'm not very an open person, to be honest. This is even hard for me. Like YouTube, it has helped me open up a bit, and honestly, being a BCBA has helped me open up. But you just need to be okay with handling problems and remaining professional. That's also a very important skill. So just be okay with confrontation, where you are the one that essentially everybody's heads will be turning to you. Okay? You are the case manager. You are the supervisor. You are in charge. So you need to be okay with problems arising and being quick with problem solving. And sometimes, to be honest, I'm scared. Like, I'm honestly scared. Like I mentioned, I don't like when parents come at me because their kids, really what they're doing is coming at me because their kids are not showing progress. And you need to be okay with that. You need to be okay with parents being upset, with school staff being upset, with RBTs doing something. You need to be okay with communicating effectively to be able to, move on and have the client progress with whatever you're trying to work on with them. That's been very hard. And also, what's been very hard for me is confronting my RBTs when they're doing something wrong. If I don't like something in a session, it's been very, 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 very hard for me to tell them, hey, you need to be on time. Hey, you need to not be on your phone. You know what I mean? Now with time, it's gotten a little bit better, and I make sure to set my clear expectations of what I want in a session. But just to let you know, confrontation is something you need to work on. You really do need to work on your people skills. You need to work on communication, because that's what you're going to be doing, communicating with adults. So that is something I really, really wish I knew. I felt like when I was on RBT, I was a really easy RBT. Anything that my supervisor was telling me to implement, telling me to do, I would do it. But now that I'm in that position, I've noticed that that's not the case for every RBT. Some RBTs might be in the field for longer than you have been, so they might know more. Sure, they don't have their masters, they're not BCBAs, but they do have good points. So you have to be okay with accepting that. You also have to be okay with, like I mentioned, parents getting mad at you. You need to understand how to handle those situations as best you can. What I would do is definitely practice, role play. Sometimes I've had Jeremy, hey, like, can we practice real quick? Because it's just an issue for me. Like, to have somebody be upset with me, I get very nervous, very, very nervous. I've always been nervous about situations like that. But you need to understand how to protect yourself, defend yourself, and you need to, just keep it moving. Find ways to solve the problem, as best as you can, because that is your responsibility as a supervisor. So be okay with confrontation. Okay, so we're going to be doing our third things I wish I knew before being a BCBA, and I'm only doing 3. There's obviously so many things I wish I knew before. Now that I'm in the role, there's just so many things that I'm like, I did not know about that, but I didn't know that would be my responsibility. I didn't know that was something that could happen. So we're only doing 3, but I can definitely make more videos about many more things that I wish I knew. But the third one is that being a BCBA will not be easy. For me, when I was on RBT, I would see my BCBA come and make it look very easy. The parent training always looked, hey, they're speaking to the parent, it looks fine. They're supervising me, they're coming up with strategies to help. They're updating programs, all good. It's a lot easier. They're not the one on the floor with the client all the time. It's gonna be easy. Honestly, I really thought it would be easier. I was dead wrong now that I've been a BCBA for a year. Honestly, my BCBAs made it look easy, but I'm glad I got to see the real side of them, because we did become very good friends. I'm still, I consider them my mentors and stuff like that. So when I think about the past, they made it, one of my BCBAs, she was very honest with me and told me, I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. And I was just like, really? It doesn't even seem that way, because she always seemed to have an answer. And if she didn't, like, she would get back to me. That's the same thing I've been implementing for my RBTs. Like, sometimes I'm very honest with them, like, you know, I wasn't able to, like, let's say a behavior is happening. I'm like, hey, you know what, I need you to take ABC, because to be honest, like, I don't know what could be a strategy to help right now. But just being honest and, you know, telling them, you know, I have to analyze it a little bit more, because honestly, I don't have an answer for you. So being transparent has helped me a lot in that area. But just being a BCBA is not easy at all. It's, although you don't see us always, again, on the floor with the client doing the one-to-one, we have a lot to do on the back end. I don't think RBTs really are aware of all the work that we put in. Honestly, I think about my clients 24/7. I often have to tell myself that you need to stop. Like, I literally, on the weekends, I really don't do anything related to clients other than going out and getting them maybe reinforcers, just because I know I need time for myself. Everybody does. It's okay. And sometimes I used to feel so guilty, like, I'm not done with their treatment plan. Oh my God, this came up and now I have to do it. Stop doing that. And honestly, I used to be like, I've always been this way, where I just want to be accessible all the time. No, set your clear boundaries, and you need to follow through with them. A parent, if they reach out to you at 8 p.m., you should not be responding. This is your time to rest, your time to have dinner, your time to do your hobbies, and, you know, do whatever you please, because you deserve that too, just as much as they do. So I just want to reiterate that being a BCBA is a very, very difficult, demanding job. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than being an RBT, but I was really, really wrong on that. So please, RBTs, anybody that's an RBT therapist watching this that has BCBAs, really, really be mindful that your BCBAs are doing everything that they can, managing their cases. I only have 7 cases, and I say only because there are some companies that give you like 10 cases. That's pretty much very hard, because imagine dealing with 10 families. That's very difficult. So I'm blessed in the way that I only have my 7, and even though it's stressful at times, I feel like it's manageable. I have time for myself, or I've set very clear expectations and boundaries for myself. Just remember that it won't be easy, but you will get through all the hurdles and all the things that come up. You will get through it, because there's many times where I was like, where is the light at the end of the tunnel? Because I do not see it. But honestly, reflecting, taking time for myself, praying, going on my runs now, hobbies, that's what keeps me sane, and you deserve that too. Alrighty, guys, so that was pretty much the top 3 things I wish I knew before becoming a BCBA. Again, this month, I'm very excited to say that I'm only going to be doing BCBA content. So I know that you guys love watching BCBA stuff, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. I know there's not that many content creators as BCBAs, so I'm very happy to be one of them. I'm very happy to also be educating other future BCBAs, RBTs, on what is the role of a BCBA. So if you ever have any questions, I love going through all of your comments, and I pretty much always respond. If I missed it, please just send me a message wherever. Instagram, make sure to follow me. I'm gonna try to start making some short form content. That takes me a lot of time, especially with, you know, my clients and other things I deal with, but I do want to start making time for that. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in my next BCBA video. Bye.